Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a good lunch and the day has been kind to you so far. Have you had a chance to speak to our exhibitors and downloaded the brochures or resources? If you have any issues, please click on the question mark on the top right-hand corner beside your name, and we will have a live agent who will assist you. So today, we're so grateful to have Yulia join us amidst her busy schedule. Yulia Saksen is the co-founder and director of Creativeans, an award-winning brand and design management consultancy. As a business and branding consultant coming from an industrial design background, with experiences working with SMEs and MNCs in both Asia and Europe regions, Yulia specializes in customer-centric brand methodologies and design thinking. She loves people and is happy to be part of their brand building journey through methodologies such as Brand Builder and Edit Design Thinking. A frequent speaker in these topics, alongside Kim Yap and Judy Tam by co-authoring the international brand book, Are You Brain Dead? She is also the founder of C Academy, an educational and research institution that coaches C-suites and PMETs on branding, creativity, and design. She also serves as a council member at the Institute of Management Consultants and is an Enterprise Singapore Certified Management Consultant. Please join me to welcome Yulia. Yulia, please.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, SGP Fair, for having me, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending your precious 1 hour with me. Okay, so thanks, Maisie, for reading all the credentials. Okay, so let me do a bit of sound check, okay? Is the sound check okay? Sound check good? Display okay? Okay. Okay, so once again, my name is Yulia, and I'll be sharing with you on all these things. Okay, so what is design thinking? Learn the edit design methodology, as well as how to apply design thinking on your business. So I'll be giving you like tips and perhaps some template for you to go and learn how to actually do it yourself and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, so before we start, for those who are unfamiliar with who I am, I would first love to share with you more of what my company does, and also our core values through this short 1-minute video. Okay, please enjoy. Okay, so I would like to begin the session with a quick poll to understand how many of you knows or have heard about design thinking before. Let me know in the chat below if you have heard or practicing design thinking before. Yes or not yet. I understand that some of you may be using the live directly from the virtual SGP Fair, which is great. Okay, so let me know if you have done or have not done before. Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, let me know. Okay, great, great, great. Okay. Hi, Jax Cho. You sounded like Jay Cho. Hui say no. Torrance say yes. Okay. Okay, Dylan. Okay. Melissa say yes. Okay, Jolene say no. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, thanks for letting me know. I mean, like, I hope it's safe enough for you to go and type the chat box, okay? Okay, so I I understand that design thinking may seem very intimidating to some, but it's okay. I promise this webinar, just like my any other webinar, is easy to digest version. So don't worry, okay? So I'm excited to share with you how amazing design thinking can be as a problem solving tool. And how easy is it for you to use it on your everyday today lives? Okay. Okay, so there's a huge misconception that we design people only know how to doodle cartoon character only, So a lot of people say, yeah, designers are lah, which is not true, okay? Let me break it down like this. Art is a form of expression of a painter, it is inspired by everything and anything around them. It can be political, it can be based on love, can be an expression of feelings. Art is subjective. Okay, it is different from design. Design is with a clear intention, beyond just getting noticed, of course, right? It is done with a purpose to solve issues or problems. So that makes design objective. Like how this webinar is designed specially for you. Design, okay? Okay, so you may heard the word design pretty often. Business design, design for automation, design for brands. Even Singapore we know and we live in today is based on meticulous and careful designing. Look around you, everything is designed. From the infrastructure, the roads, architectural landscape, where to plant the trees. Yes, they're all designed. Okay, so how do we design by using design thinking? Design thinking is an iterative and human-centric approach to solving problems. Just like the curve, the scribble shown here, right? It loops back and move forward, and then loops back again and move forward. Design thinking is an iterative process that leads you to a solution. Even if you are not a designer, you can practice design thinking as well. I will share with you in greater details shortly. Okay, so as businesses, I hope most of you are, okay, we are often required to generate ideas, or have problems to solve. And there are generally two ways to approach it. The first one is plan and perfect. The other one is launch and learn. So what do you think are the differences between these two? Okay, so a good example of plan and perfect is when you need to send a rocket to the moon. A rocket must be built to perfection. When you send a person to the moon, no room of error is allowed. It also costs billions of dollars for that one project, for you to launch the project, one time, right? So you only have one chance, basically. So for the other one, the launch and learn way is like Zheng He. I hope I pronounced him correctly. He is an explorer from China 400 years ago, and through many expeditions, trial and error, he successfully connected and established trade with Southeast Asia. If you ask him, 400 years ago, sir, where should we go? He wouldn't tell you where. He just say, I don't know. Just find an island and see how lah. That's basically what is launch and learn lah, right? Okay, so knowing these two strategies, which one is more suitable for you? Let's have a mini exercise, okay? Take this scenario, for example. The table you are using now is not balancing well. How will you suggest to fix it? For those who can, please type in your responses into the chat box below. Be sure to select show to the panelist options, or else I can't see your answers, okay? So this exercise is only for those who are currently able to typely save lah. Okay, so if you are currently driving, walking, you are exempted. It's okay. Safety comes first. Yeah. Okay. Let me know, how would you make this table to be more stable? Okay. Put a pole on each side, like jaga the whole thing. Increase the size of the base. Wow. This must be a maths person. Okay. Great. Okay. So thanks for the contribution. Stabilize with, oh yeah, of course, paper wages. Who doesn't like paper wages, right? Yeah, I do that too all the time. Nail it down. Oh, good. Okay. So Wow, can be quite cool. Attach a magnetic ceiling and put magnets on the tabletop. Wow, that's kind of invisible graffiti. So cool. Okay, so thanks for the contribution. Okay, we move on, okay, or else we cannot finish. Okay, as you can see from the responses, many of you are contributed based on trial and error explorations, right? You are actually launching and learning. It is actually very similar to what you will do in design thinking, be it in your business or in life as well, like how you learn how to ride a bicycle. People will just say, find the balance, but then how, right? So you do a trial and error, okay? So next. You may ask how design thinking is relevant for your business. For business, in order for you to create sustained profitable growth, you must implement continuous innovation that delivers meaningful differentiation. Okay, the word is here, enabled by business alignment. And as you can see from this statement, the first part of the equation is continuous innovation. And the fastest and the most effective way for your business, to continuously innovate is through design thinking. Okay, so there are actually many examples of companies that have successfully innovated using design thinking. This is the list of some case studies. Please scan the QR code if you want to find out more. As I only have an hour with you, I have selected a few more better examples for you to share with you. I will also elaborate on how you can actually start using these amazing tools to solve challenges you might be facing. Okay, so we have talked about innovation briefly so far, right? So for innovation to be successful, it must first fulfill these three criteria. Desirable solution, one that your customer really needs. Okay, visible solution, building on the strength of your current operational capabilities. And lastly, profitable solution with a sustainable business model. Okay, so design thinking is a process that helps you arrive at innovation that fulfills all these three criteria. Okay, at Creativeans, we develop 4 steps design thinking methodology. We call it EDIT. We call it EDIT is simply because it's a process of continuous editing, to arrive at the solution to your problems. The first step is understanding the experience of the target customer. Sometimes I use customers, sometimes I use clients. It actually means the same thing. Okay, it's either you B2B or B2C, so it means the same thing. Okay, your end user is also the same word. Okay, step 2, defining the problems to create value proposition statement. Okay, step 3, exploring ideas through prototyping. And lastly, step 4, to test, to refine it further to arrive for the right solution. In the next slide, I'm going to share the tips and ways, many ways on how you can do those 4 steps easily and cost effectively. Okay. Cheap, easy, and nasty. Okay, step 1, empathize. How do we get started with empathy in the first place? You can practice empathy with these methods here by observing the users in their natural environment, immersing yourself in the task or environment of the user, or by simply engaging in a conversation with them. So when you go and ask this kind of question, it's not really to go and ask how are you doing and so on and so forth, but to gain qualitative insights into how they are thinking and what are they feeling at the moment. Okay, so I want to share with you an interesting video about empathy. Please enjoy.
It's just, there's all this pressure,
Okay.
And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me and I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head, and it's relentless. And I don't know if it's going to stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most, is that I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
Yeah. Well, you do have a nail in your head.
It is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there...
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing...
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
Yeah, see, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail
See, you're
out.
not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just... Sometimes it's like... There's this achy, I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them.
That sounds really hard.
It is. Thank you.
Ow!
Oh, come on. If you would just...
Don't.
Try to see things my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I...
Okay, moving on. Here is another tool you can use to better understand what your customer need and wants. Okay, this question will help you to fish out some answers from them. Okay, you can print screen or anything like that. Okay, so you can also build empathy map. You know, this is what we call as an empathy map. Okay, this tool helps in empathizing stage to synthesize your observation made during your research phase to draw out unexpected insights about your user needs. An empathy map consists of 4 quadrants. So you can see 4 quadrants, okay? The 4 quadrant reflects 4 key traits which the user demonstrated or possessed during the observation or research stage. So the 4 quadrant refer to what the user said, did, thoughts, and felt. It is fairly easy to determine what the user said and did. You just have to write them down, right? Whatever thing that they say. So, however, you know, when you're determining what they are feeling or thinking, you cannot see, right? Okay. So you should, it can only be based on careful observation and analysis. Okay. As how they behave and responded, you know, to certain activities or your suggestions or the way you put it up in a conversation and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, another tool that we often use is customer journey mapping. Customer journey map has 3 stages: awareness, engagement, and completion. It is accompanied with 5 emotions: satisfied, happy, all the way until unhappy and disappointed. Each emotion carry a rating system, like how you would rate a restaurant after you visited, right? In most cases, seeing the review rating given by the other customers acts as a deciding factor on whether or not you want to go to that particular restaurant, right? Okay, so the customer journey includes everything from the moment you encounter the brand. This includes how well the place is being decorated, you know, the interior space, the ambience, like, you know, from the lighting to the music to the food presentation, interaction with the staff as like the way they greet you, you know, the staff attire, condition of the utensils, many different things. Okay, so menu design, pricing, cleanliness, what else can I think of? Okay, all the way until you leave the restaurant. And it could also be, you know, even to the way they follow up after your visitation, you know, the way they send you their EDM on their upcoming events or discounts, you know, happening at their restaurants for maybe Christmas or anything like that, you know, or perhaps the way they offer you a VIP membership. Okay, so customer journey mapping focuses on detailing every single branch touch points that your customer will interact with, and maps his or her emotional journey so that you understand what they want, likes or dislikes, and what they're looking for. Okay, so it looks like a stock graph. Okay, and by doing a customer journey map, it will also help you to discover new opportunity and gaps to improve your current customer experience. You know, you may choose to use this template presented here. And yes, you can get a copy of this presentation deck. I will show you how to get it at the end of the webinar. Okay, another good news. Okay, so if you're interested to improve your customer journey, you know, in improving your customer journey for your business, you can work with us through the scheme offered by DSG, Design Singapore Councils, and Enterprise Singapore. The grant can subsidize up to 80% of the total qualifying project fee. You just scan the QR code or just wait for the presentation slide to be sent to you. Okay, the second stage is define. Okay, define is where we create value proposition statement based on the finding earlier. And to define value proposition statement, you can use how might we, a popular design thinking tool. You begin with a problem area that is challenging for a person, organization, system, environment, etc. And add how might we into it. These how might we questions are a way to frame your ideation process and are often used before you started your brainstorming. So a properly framed how might we will not suggest a particular solution, but gives you a perfect frame for innovation thinking. It's more like a project brief, right? Okay, so now with all the insight gathered on understanding your customer as well as your needs list, their wish list and the problems and blah, 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 and also the opportunity you have uncovered, during the customer journey session, you can fill up this template to create your value proposition statement, okay, and subsequently use it to build your project brief. Okay, you can use this one. It's like so easy, right? Yulia give you almost everything ready. Okay, the third stage is ideate. Okay, divergence and convergence. During divergence, we are creating choices. And during convergence, we are making choices. Okay, one is create, you need to have a lot, right? So that's why it's divergence. Convergence is when you start to go and choose, right? Okay, so how do we go about it? Okay, one of the way is using, ta-da, Lego, okay? Who doesn't love Lego, right? We often use it in our C academic classes. Lego itself is a building block that enables you to create something else. In fact, you can build almost anything using Lego. You can design system, product, anything. Who doesn't want to solve a problem and have fun at the same time, right? And this Lego is not for children also, not just limited to children, okay? Okay, another way is by creating a prototype that possesses some characteristic of your target product. Prototypes can be rough or incomplete and are usually quick to build. They are often used or test broad concept, like concept is like idea, okay, broad ideas, okay. In this stage, it is acceptable for your prototype to appear unfinished, imperfect, or some people say it looks ugly, but doesn't matter, okay. So let me show you a short video on what is low fidelity prototype and how you can make it with any everyday objects. This guy is Tom Chi. He is from Google X division. Is the team that created Google Glass. The cool Google Glass. Haven't reached in the market yet because of the price. Okay, so let's see how they build a low fidelity prototype.
My name is Tom Chi. I spent 2 years of my life building the user experience team for the Google X division of Google. And it's a place I affectionately called the Department of Science Fiction because of the futuristic nature of the types of projects we took on. Self-driving cars, Google Glass, and other things that you'll see soon enough. So for those who haven't heard of this project, this is what Google Glass looks like. It allows you to overlay digital things into your eyesight while still maintaining being part of a world. So if I were to pull out my cell phone and look into it, I'm basically out of this world now. Like I'm in my own little cell phone, tablet world, what have you. But Google Glass has the vision of allowing us to continue to be in the world, but also have access to the digital things that we need and we love. Now, I'm going to ask you a really simple question about Google Glass. How would you prototype this experience? How long do you think it would take you to make the first working version of a heads-up display? Okay, a little bit on the long side. The answer is 1 day. And here's what it looked like. So basically, the magic piece is the coat hanger. The coat hanger, I bent it in a specific shape, and the top loop goes around your neck, and then the bottom loop rests against your chest. And it allows me to carry a piece of plexiglass on which a little sheet protector. So these are the things that you put your book reports in so they don't get wet. I literally got it at the drugstore. Have it out at the end of the plexiglass, and then it gets projected onto with the Piker projector that's connected to a netbook. And using this setup, within 1 day, we were already able to start having the experience of what it looks like to have digital things overlaid on your physical world, be able to move around with it, and also use the netbook to try out tons and tons of different ideas around software. Now, after you start getting something like that working, a really important problem comes up. Like, you're wearing this thing on your head. It's like a pair of glasses. So you don't have a mouse or a keyboard or a touch screen, all the ways that you're used to interacting with a machine. So we thought for a second, well, maybe we could do something like what was shown in Minority Report. So for folks who haven't seen that, basically Tom Cruise is manipulating software with his hands in front of his face, and photos are flying over here, and his emails over here, and so on and so forth. So that's the same question again. How long do you think it would take to have the real experience of doing something like that? 2 years, okay. Somebody said one day, 45 minutes. So here's how it looks. So you wear the thing that we saw the first time because you need some way to go project things. But what happens is we got 2 hairbands, which I think was the hardest part. We had to go ask people for their hairbands. But you put one hand in each hairband, and attached to that hairband, we tied a fishing line. And the fishing line goes over the top of a whiteboard and then goes down to this little assembly that's taped to the floor. And what this means is every time I move my hand in any direction, it adds tension to the line, and it does the following with the assembly on the floor. So the other end of the fishing wire is attached to a chopstick. And it's not because I'm Asian, there's just a cafeteria nearby. I don't just carry chopsticks on me. But I tied it to the end of a chopstick, I clipped it into a binder clip, and then put it over a pen. And basically what happens then is when you move your arm and it produces tension on the wire, chopstick comes down like a lever and clicks a presentation clicker. One hand moves the presentation forward, the other hand moves the presentation backwards. So this was built in 45 minutes, and that meant shortly afterwards we were having experiences like looking at an image gallery and saying, next image, previous image. Or looking at our emails and saying, let me click into this email, let me click reply now. And this was exactly the experience of what it was like to go control software with your hands. And ultimately, what it taught us is we probably shouldn't have this in the product. We learned a lot of things about the social awkwardness of it and some of the ergonomic aspects of it that you couldn't have figured out ahead of just thinking about it. And ergo, the second prototyping rule, which is doing is the best kind of thinking. They teach you to think a lot in school, but I think it's a little bit overrated.
Okay, so let me stop the video here. If you want to see the video in full set, you can actually go to YouTube. This video is actually quite some time already, but I use it because it's still forever relevant because that's how you do the low fidelity prototype. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so here is another tool. It's like today, Yulia shared a lot of tools to use. Later, don't say that design thinking is too cheap, okay? So I give you a lot of choices for you to go and use it. Okay, this idea dice is developed by CA Academy, the educational arm and research institution of our company. This tool is able to guide you through the design thinking process as well as problem solving, So inside the box, there are 9 dices. You will find 9 topics that are split into 3 categories. And each of these 3 categories comes with a set of 3 dices featuring 6 icons. 6 icons is actually because of the dice got top side, left, right, bottom, right. So 6 sides, okay? So the flexibility of the idea dice gives you the option of either following a template, if you scan the QR code, you will see the template, or interpreting the icons in your own way. It also acts as a form of engagement within the team, allowing for ideas to bounce off one another, So if you're saying how to use this idea dice, is it going to be limited with just, 9 dices? No, the idea is unlimited, okay? Okay, so the 4th and the last stage is test. Before you launch the idea to the real world, make sure you test it. So this is a picture taken from a bank. I don't know, should I blanco the bank? Okay, anyway, can you guess what's happening here? Okay, yes, they prepared a collection of reading glasses to help the elderly read documents more easily. Since bank documents often have a lot of fine prints, right? Very tiny. Okay, this is in fact a good idea. No doubt it's a good idea, but what went wrong? Okay, so from our observation, it was not used at all. You know, imagine being the elderly in this context. You cannot see, right? Then you need to wear these reading glasses. But there's this chain that connect to the center of the spec where your nose bridge are, you know, and that is being tied to the table. Sounded pretty complex already, right? Okay, so I can imagine the chain touching your face so close that you can eat it. I know, sounded so wrong, but yeah. Okay, so how would that make you feel if you're the elderly in the context, right? Okay, so remember the 3 criteria that I shared earlier to you? You know, this solution did not pass the desirability criteria. So it makes a good idea gone wasted just like that because of never really thought properly, you know? Okay, so this will happen to your product or solution as well if you do not test it before you launch them. Okay, so now you understand the importance of user testing before implementing your solution. This step will help you save money and resources before you implement an actual solution. Okay, aligning back to your value proposition statement, testing will help you uncover problems in the design, discover opportunity to improve the design, you know, and also to learn about your user on their behavior and preferences. Okay, okay, so no matter your products or services, you know, digital or physical solutions, you know, there are 2 main ways of testing. You just need to remember these 2, okay? Number 1 is by observing, and the other one is by engaging, you know, or interviewing them in a conversation, okay? So you can observe your user use either correctly or incorrectly on your prototype. It is important to resist the urge to correct them. Okay, when they misinterpret how it is supposed to be used, you know, the user's mistake are actually valuable learning opportunity for you. Remember, what you are testing is the prototype, not the user. Okay, so just keep it to yourself, okay? Tahan, okay? Okay, the second way is when your users are exploring and using the prototype. Ask them to tell you what they are actually thinking, because you know Superman, right? You cannot think, right? You cannot see what they're thinking, right? Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, so but sometimes I can understand that this may take some time for most users, you know, because they are of unfamiliarity in a new settings or anything like that. So it may be a good idea to chat about unrelated topic and then prompt them by asking them questions such as, what are you thinking right now, you know, as you're doing this, you know, warm them up, you know, massage them for a while, you know, get them comfortable with you before you actually ask them about the prototype itself. Okay, and after you have gone through the testing, there may be certain things that can be improved on, you know, areas that maybe did not meet the 3 criteria of innovation or did not fulfill your customer needs and so on and so forth. Okay, don't feel dejected when this happens, you know, because design thinking is precisely an iterative process, right? So whatever thing that you learn, it will help you in the next process and so on and so forth. Okay, don't throw away the idea just simply because of some reason. Okay, by continuously editing, your solution will only get better. Okay, so to conclude, design thinking is a good tool that helps us, you know, to continuously innovate, especially now when we are in the middle of a pandemic, right? Change is the only constant, and businesses either innovate or die. Okay, so one last tip. Did you see the little man in the middle? What does it represent? Okay, right? Okay, yes. So no matter the business or the products, you are still selling to a human. Okay, so put your customer at the center of everything, give them love, and in return, they will come to you, right? And that will make your business prosper. That is the tips. Okay, so you must sayang your customer, yeah? Okay, okay, so yes, we're done. Okay, so as promised, I'll be sharing the slide with you. You will get a copy of the presentation deck after you fill up a survey form. And thank you for having me, and big thanks to SGP Fair and Creativeans team. Yay!